Hello and welcome back to Casey's Garage. So today I'm going to head over to some pick and pulls and see if we can grab some parts for the Mustang. I'll be looking for another fuse box. The fuse box I got off the 2007 Salvage Mustang will not fit the 2005. It has to be a 2005 or 2006. So there's a couple of 2005 Mustangs at the salvage lots or at the pick and pull lots. I'm going to see if I can get lucky and grab the fuse box. And then I also need one of the connectors. There's 3 or 4 of them that connect the engine wiring harness to the fuse box. One of those plastic connectors where all the wires feed into, there's a melted part of it, and it's right where the cooling fan relays plug into in the fuse box. So I'm pretty sure that the engine fan or the cooling fan will not turn on because there's a bad connection there. So I'm going to try to get that fixed, and then if we can get, find what we need and get it fixed, we can then try to start the engine over. So looking for a fuse box, hopefully have connectors, and then I'll just kind of see what parts I can find. I don't want to get a whole bunch of stuff bought until I start the engine, but those are some things we definitely need. So stay tuned, and we will see you here in just a little bit.
A few moments later.
Alright, so we're back at the garage. Today was a success. I was able to find exactly what I was looking for at the pick and pull lots. I went to 2 or 3 different ones. Got what I needed, plus a few other things that we're going to need. So let me go ahead and show you what we found. Alright, so here is the main thing I was going to the lots for, is this fuse box. The one that was originally in the car, the clips that hold the top part down to the bottom part of the fuse box were broken, so it wouldn't stay together. And I was afraid that moisture would get in there and start causing all kinds of havoc. I picked up another fuse box the last time I was at a pick and pull, back when I got the core support, but it was off of a 2007, which I actually stuck on the car a few days ago, and then I got all the fuses in except for one, and then I realized that this fuse box will not work. Ford changed the fuse box a little bit in 2007, so there's no way to plug this in right here. This goes to the PCM, so we're definitely going to need it. And after a little bit of research, I find that just for an 05 Mustang, you need either a 2005 or a 2006 box. So luckily I was able to find one. The one I found came off of a 2005, and you can see it actually has the fuse in it already right here. Someone went ahead and someone's already took all the other little fuses, but all the relays are in here. So this should work. So I'm going to clean this up, get it in the car, and then also I found, in fact I got 2 of them. The first pick and pull place I went to, I found a new, they call it a grill mount, except for it actually holds the bumper on, so I'm not sure why it's actually called a grill mount. This one would work. It does have a little bit of a chip right there. I almost passed and left it behind, but I went ahead and grabbed it. And then actually found another one at the next pick and pull, which is not broken at all. So I'll end up trashing this one and using this one. But these are the 2 pieces I mainly went for. And then also while I was there, I found a new radiator cap, because the one that is on the car, I noticed that it's pretty loose. It really doesn't click on there. I know on my blue Mustang, when I tighten it up, it clicks on kind of like a gas cap. This one really doesn't do so. It just keeps on turning and turning. So I went ahead and picked up a new one, and hopefully that'll fix that problem. I went ahead and got a airbag for the steering wheel. We'll definitely need it. A clock spring for the steering wheel as well, because the airbag that blew on the car. Like most airbags, it melted the connectors on the back of here. So I went ahead and grabbed a new one of those, and I got a new seat belt. The tensioner, when the car was wrecked, locked up the seat belt. So instead of paying to have the seat belt fixed, I was actually able to get a new one, or a junked one, that is still working fine because the car that I got it out of didn't have any deployed airbags. So this is a lot of stuff we're needing, and the pick and pull place is definitely a good place to grab these parts because they are dirt cheap. So let's go ahead and start getting this stuff on the car and see what we can get done today. Also, I'm going to show you one of the other main things I went to the lots for today is, see how this is one of the connectors that connects the engine wiring harness to the bottom of the fuse box. And right here at the end, you can see where it's melted. And where that connects up to is actually where these relays are right here, which is for the engine cooling fan. So I'm pretty sure without fixing this, we'd have a issue with the fan coming on and off. The wiring harness I bought at the pick and pull a couple weeks ago with that other stuff, it was melted pretty much in the same spot. And in fact, it was even worse, so unfortunately I wasn't able to use it. I did check this at the junkyard. I checked it out. I'll show you here in a little bit once I get this all taken apart. The one I just bought also is melted in the same spot, but it's not near as bad, so I think it's going to work. I'd rather it not have a melted spot at all, but I can't find that part anywhere without buying a whole new harness, and that just seems silly. And so we'll just see if this one works, but I don't know if that's a flaw in Ford's design, or if that just happens when you wreck the car. I'm not sure why that is, that every single one of these that I run across has melted in that same spot. So it makes me kind of want to pull the one off my blue one, since that one has not been wrecked, and see if it's also melted, or if that's, I don't know. That's kind of a strange thing, I think. So anyway, let me get my gloves on. We'll go ahead and start getting to work on this, and if we can get it done here today before it gets dark, and maybe even try to turn this over and see if it starts. Okay, so let's get the easy task out of the way first. Let's see if this new gas cap works better. Oh, it's already feeling tighter. Yeah, see how it's clicking there? Yep. So this one, I don't know what was wrong with it, but it definitely wasn't getting on there tight. So we'll go ahead and leave the new one on there. Alright, before I start changing all these fuses over to the new box, I'm going to spray it with some electronic cleaner and use an old toothbrush and just clean everything out, just to make sure there's no debris inside this, because the car I got it off of was actually missing the lid. So I don't know how long it's been sitting out there without the lid, and rainwater and all that good stuff. I just don't want to get have a bunch of dirt in there and then have a bunch of issues, and then all that fun stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this down and clean it up, and then we'll get this all switched over. It's looking pretty good. think it's good and clean. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I was talking about on this one. These little 4 screws here hold these down. Let me get my socket real quick. It is super windy today. Good thing we're not actually filming outside the garage, because that would be a mess. Yeah, you just loosen these up, and then that loosens the plugs for the back side of this. These don't come all the way out. They just come up. Okay, let's see if that's loose enough. Nope. Almost. So there's that one. And this is the one that we need, I believe. Yep. So on the old one, on the one that's attached to the car, so you can see where it was melted pretty good right here in the corner. If the camera will focus, it may not focus very good on that, but and then here's the new one that I got. It's also melted, but in a little bit of a different spot, more towards the middle, and it didn't actually melt all the way through. It didn't melt the pin in there, I don't think. I think it just melted a little bit of the plastic, so I'd rather have one that's not melted at all, but I'll keep on looking. But I have been unsuccessful without having to buy a whole new wiring harness, which just seems really stupid. So we'll try this one out, see if it works, and go from there. Okay, so I also took a picture from the original fuse box that was in the car, just so I had some reference to where all these fuses go, just in case I screw up. Let's go ahead and start switching these over. One of these I knocked out taking it out of the car, so I'll have to look at that picture. It goes over here somewhere. And I do apologize, it's quite windy out today. I'm gonna get my fuse puller and I'll be right back. Alright, so let's start pulling these fuses here. Alright, so there we have it. The old and the new. And I need to go back and check my picture to see where this one goes. Either it goes here or here. I'm not really sure, so I'm going to go back and look at my picture and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I checked my picture, and good thing I did because I was way off. I thought it was going to go, that relay fitted over here somewhere. It actually is right there, so good thing I checked that. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and start converting the wires over from the old plug to the new one, and we'll get this all plugged back in. Okay, so to get these wires out, I don't know if I better get good lighting on this, but there's little green plastic tab deals that slide in through the plug that kind of holds the connectors in place, kind of locks them in. So I need to pull this out. Then I'll take my screwdriver, and there's a little plastic pin up here where I'll just kind of lift that up, and then the wire will slide right out the back. So, see, those are coming right out. Try not to break them. That's going to be the key thing. Just want to teeter-totter back and forth here. There. So there, it released itself. So there's that. And then I got one on the other side. There we go. And let's see. Alright, so got all the wires out of the new one I'm going to put in. Yeah, there's that one burnt spot there, whereas the one on this one is also burnt, but actually is burnt into the other bay, or what you want to call it. So I'll go ahead and get these switched out. And if you guys know where you can buy these, please leave a comment in the below to let me know. I have looked online, called salvage yards, and I just have not had any luck. But maybe I'm putting the wrong name or part name in or the search. But you know what these little plastic connector ends are and where I can buy them, let me know in the comment section. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to get all these other ones out. Actually, before I do that, let's take a picture. Alright, now I got a couple pictures. Let's go ahead and start removing these wires and then sliding them into the new one. There we go. It's going to go in. Oh, I just now realized that these rows are numbered on the side, and then there's letters on the top, so you know which bay, call it that, they go into. So now that I'm almost halfway done, I realize that, but either way, I was counting down and counting over, so but this will make it a little easier. Let's see. Well, it's a tedious process, but relatively easy. Except for probably when I get down to this burned connector. We'll see what happens there. Alright, so I finally got the last wire that was stuck in the connector that was melted in there. Finally got it out. The connector on the wire, the little metal plug part, is all deformed. Partly from being melted in there and probably from me tugging on it. But what I'm going to do is, I got the exact same wire that I clipped out of the donor car, or the salvage car. I'm going to clip the end off and then splice in this good end and then plug it in. And then I'll go ahead and liquid tape everything, start putting this together, and see how everything works. So I'll be right back. Well, I do not think it'll come apart now. probably said this in a previous video, but this liquid tape by Performix, it's awesome. Easy to apply, and it dries pretty fast too, which is nice. Alright, let that sit for a little bit. Okay, while that liquid tape is drying on that wire, I'm going to go ahead and put the grill bracket. It goes right here, and that's what the bumper will bolt up to. And then we'll plug the fuse box back in, and then we'll do a quick little check on the car, and we'll see if it'll turn over. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and grab that bracket and we'll get it on there. There we go. Easy enough. Alright, so let's go ahead and plug in this last wire. Pretty easy to do. Let's see. 12F. There we go. And there you have it. Okay, so let's grab the fuse box and we'll start plugging stuff back in it. I need to grab my socket. Alright, just got our ground wire here to put in. I believe that one's 10mm. Alright guys, looks pretty good. Fuse box is in. Just check everything over. It's locked in place. And there you have it. So it's secure. Everything's where it's supposed to be. Looks pretty good, so let's go ahead and put the cover on it. There we go, and for now we'll call this job done. Hopefully. That is if everything works. Alright, so that's back in. Let's move off the tools. I don't know, what do you think? Should we try to start it?
Yes! Yes!
Let's see what happens. Alright guys, so the battery is connected. All the tools are removed from the engine bay. I'm just going to double check. Make sure they are. Let's go ahead and turn the key and see what happens.
It's alive!
Alright, let's see if we got any leaks. So I put all new hoses on here. For the most part, I think there's one hose that was still good, but all the upper hoses are all new. Engine sounds pretty good. The exhaust is loud as crap. Oops, see, forgot the tape. There's always something. But it did start up on its first try. Let's see if there's any leaks underneath here. Pretty good. Of course, we'll have to monitor it over the next couple days. See smoke. That Borla exhaust does sound pretty good. Let's see if it'll move on its own power here. I'm going to set this back up. Alright guys, so I think we're going to call it quit for the day. It's starting to get dark. Beautiful day out, a little windy, but the wind did kind of die down here at the end. Engine sounds good. Car sounds good. I'm going to let it run just for a little bit so that we'll see if everything works and the cooling tank kicks on or not. But today's a big success, and we'll tackle this again tomorrow and start working on getting maybe the airbag and some of the other parts that I got from the pick and pull onto the car. So thank you for watching the video, and if you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll have some more videos coming soon. And I do have some fenders and a bumper that are Kappa certified, if I just said that right. So I got those in my cart, so now that I know the engine runs, and I'm going to kind of play with it a little bit here in the next few minutes, but now I know all that is good. We'll go ahead and get those ordered, and they should be here the next few days. So maybe the next video will be putting fenders and a bumper on, test fitting, and getting some stuff on the inside. So again, thanks for watching, and have a good night. Thanks. Peace.